Hello, as you can tell by the title, we are going to be multiplying a decimal by a whole number. And we're just going to do standard multiplication here. We'll go more in depth over using models and various things in class, but I just wanted to give you a quick overview of what that looks like, just solving this type of multiplication problem. So we'll start with 1 4/10. And we're going to multiply that. Let's make our whole number red. Multiply that times 3. So 1 4/10 times 3. Standard multiplication here. We know that the 3 has to be multiplied by the 4, and we know the 3 has to be multiplied by the 1. So we start with the top number, the lowest place value, which is the tenths. And we're going to multiply 3 times 4. So that's, of course, 12. We're going to regroup the 1 here. I see that, regroup the 1 there, 2. And now we can multiply 3 times 1, not forgetting that we regrouped a place value there, so we're going to have to add that 1. So 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. And now we have our one more thing to look after, and that's this decimal here. We got to do something with that decimal, because our answer should have a decimal in it. Doesn't always have to be true, but in this case, it will be true. So where do we put it? Well, the key is to take a look at the place values that we have after the decimal. So the decimal has one place value here, which is the tenths. And so we have to account for that place value in our product. And the way we do that is we look at 42 as a whole number, which would put our decimal there if we had one. And because we have one decimal in one of the factors on the top, we have a decimal place value of one place value there. We have to accommodate one place value down here, which would put our decimal right in the middle, and it would actually make our answer equal 4 2/10. Let's do another one. Go away. Get over there. Okay. Let's try, what if we have more than one decimal place value? Let's say we have 1 3600ths. And we want to multiply that times, let's say, 4. So the same thing applies. We're going to do standard multiplication. Notice how the place values aren't lining up. Even though the 4 is a whole number and the 1 is a whole number, we're not lining them up, because if we were to do that, we would have to add decimal to the 4 and add zeros. It's going to make our problem longer, and it's really just not necessary. So we can just line it up by the digits, right? Line up the 4 and then the 1 3600ths on top. So let's look at multiplying this bad boy. 6 times 4, 24. 4 times 3 is 12. Don't forget to add the 2 that we regrouped. So that'll be 14. Regroup another 1. 4 times 1 is 4. Don't forget about that 1, which will make it 5. So we have our product, and now we need to do the same thing we did with the other problem, is look at our place values. Well, actually, this time we have 2 place values after the decimal. We have the tenths here and the hundredths here. So since we have 2 place values after the decimal, when we look at our product and we realize if this is a whole number, that would be where the decimal would be, but we got to account for those 2 place values in the decimal. So we're going to go 1, 2, and drop the decimal right there, which would actually make our answer 5 44 hundredths. Easy.